Welcome in my universe. This is part one of the presentation that will tackle the subject of galactic astrology. I discovered that this term became a trend in the internet. I landed. In the 80s, I understand, because in the 80s, astronomers started to follow the galactic movements, and therefore what humans are gravitating around and influenced by. With technology and with the internet, we have been blessed with a phenomenal flow of information about the universe, about the powerful black holes that move our galaxy and rule our existence. We will then dive into the subject to get to know a little more about those anchors for our consciousness and how to relate them with our chart. However, I wonder if I'm confused. Galactic astrology? Is this something new? Well, astrology as we know it studies the movements of the stars and planets in the solar system in the context of 12 constellations, all of these elements being a part of the Milky Way. Therefore, astrology has always been galactic. What is new, however, which is wonderful, is that millions of people are now ready and able, through memories or hypnosis, to look at themselves as being a part of the galaxy and to recognize, helped by their chart, that they can prove that there is a connection, that they have a connection with another system, Sirius or the Pleiades, Orion, etc. I personally have always had a galactic connection and a multidimensional consciousness. Very young, I knew my connection with the star system, Sirius, to the point that I was often feeling that I was bilocating. I was living a dichotomy. That was sometimes difficult. Therefore, I had to learn to ground my consciousness in my body, let go of Sirius, to be more grounded and participate in the human experience. Then later on, there was a change. In 1998, the part of my consciousness that was specifically Sirian left my body and was replaced by contract by Michael. Michael's consciousness, the Archangel Michael's consciousness, is in our galaxy, rooted in the Lyra constellation. I therefore am now more connected with the Lyra, and Michael, having to deal with the dragon consciousness, itself rooted in the Draco constellation. I am very connected at this point in my life. My head is in Lyra, and I am also connected to the Draco constellation. So all this to explain that I was looking for, I knew this information, and then I decided to look if there was something to explain or to prove it in my chart. And yes, there was. After that, I started to look at other people's chart to see if their being from a different constellation was also visible in astrology. So it was a great discovery for me to realize that now astrologers are looking at these details. Something else that was very important in my life was to read the Orion Mystery book from Boval and Gilbert. because in this book you see the picture of the pyramid. Everyone knows this picture. It's everywhere in the internet. It has been copied millions of times. So the idea is that the shafts of the pyramids were oriented towards constellations. And this struck my mind. What was the connection between Sirius, Orion, Draco, etc.? Reading this book started an obsession, understanding the functioning of the galaxy and understanding the connection between those constellations and the occult life of the planet. There was also my meeting with galactic consciousness, such as the Sanat Kumara or the Archangel Michael. So we see here in this painting, for instance, the Lyra essence, on which we have feline species as well as birds. Everything is present here. It is obvious through the study of astrology and planetary cycles that all is already created. Everything is meticulously organized, timed. The past, the present, the future, all is there, already united. Astrology grounds our understanding of the perfection, of the creation, and of the divine mind. We only have one solution. It is to be humble and to have enough faith to accept our destiny as it is already written in the divine plan. So in this discussion, we are adding one layer. If we can see how much we are connected to specific constellations, and if our memories are capable of relating with that, this is another layer of watching and connecting, working with the perfection of the universe. Because of my natural connection with the galactic consciousness, I have always felt eager to understand how the solar system and humankind relate to the Milky Way. The book, Who is Your Creator God, examines the functioning of the galaxy, the Milky Way, as one of the Creator's bodies of expression. On the foundation of the occult tradition, mythology, the book reveals the role of specific constellation and star system in the birth and evolution of humankind. This slide is for those who want to have more details about the book, Who is the Creator God, which is of course listed in my website, www.archangel-michael.us. So if you need the details, you can do a copy of the screen and keep it for your records. This illustration is in the presentation for your pleasure, but also because selfishly I just love it. It's extracted from a French book. Camille Flammarion was an astronomer and interested in spirituality. I really love the text that goes with this engraving. The Latin poets placed the divinities of Olympus and the stately mythological court upon this vault, above the planets and the fixed stars. On this to say that the fixed stars have always been a part of astrology. This is a short list of fixed stars chosen because of their partnership to specific constellations in the Milky Way. So the idea is for you to take the list and check if any of those stars are positioned very specifically in your natal chart. This will give you either a connection with a star system or something related to past lives, related to your actual soul origin, so, or an aspect of your soul. It is for you to examine your chart. So just copy the screen and use it for yourself. An example of the use of fixed stars in astrology. It concerns the foundation and the beginning of the United States. As you might know, the founding fathers were often Freemasons, and they were using astrology. They carefully choose the time and dates of the Declaration of Independence. This is an example. Also for the founding of the Washington Monument, according to the position of the star Sirius, conjunct to the Sun, at the moment of the dedication of the monument, Sirius was at 13° Cancer and rising over the horizon. In the course of the ceremony, the star Sirius would have been on the eastern horizon. It would have been rising over the Capitol building to the east of the monument. So because the founding father knew that our initiation system and the spiritual ruling of the planet was in the hands of the Syrians, they wanted to connect their history with Sirius. One of the most famous and powerful ambassadors of the Creator and of the Syrians landed in Egypt 4,500 years ago and anchored the occult tradition. As an aspect of the Creator, Thoth was one of the links in the chain of initiates who incarnated to support mankind's rebirth after the last devastation. Thoth is a part of this discussion because he brought astronomy to the Egyptians and was instrumental in the building of the pyramids. Remember, we spoke about the Great Pyramid's shafts pointing at specific constellations. We're now back to connecting astronomy and astrology. The next step when you build your astrological chart is to add the dwarf planets and asteroids. These, with a special spot for Ceres, Eris, and the fun goddesses, will deliver details about your psyche and about the path chosen by your soul to evolve. So, this is all about remembering, soul unification, soul retrieval. To reach a higher and multidimensional consciousness, you must remember, take back the pieces, remember who you are, and bring together all your multidimensional expressions from the earth and time and from elsewhere in time and space. We mentioned earlier the movements of the galaxies. We now know that the galaxies, including ours, are heading in one common direction. Astrologers have commonly added the galactic center to people's charts because now we know more. We can go further and imagine how the most extraordinary and powerful giants of the universe have an impact on us. We will introduce them in the next few slides. Okay, for human beings, the first and closer connection with the core and heart of the universe is the galactic center. At the core, the center of the Milky Way. The solar system travels at an average speed of 143 miles per second around the galactic center. Impressive number. A galactic year or cosmic year is the time required for the Sun to orbit the galactic center. One galactic year is 230 million Earth years. Wow. Fun, isn't it? Because of their intense and immense gravity, black holes attract and eventually swallow everything. A hungry black hole can devour stars coming too close. In 2022, a new study revealed that black holes have properties characteristic of quantum particles, suggesting that the puzzling cosmic objects can be at the same time small and big, heavy and light, dead and alive, just like the legendary Schrödinger's cat. Wow! Imagine if your sun or your midheaven is connected to a black hole. So, yes, if your midheaven or your sun is conjunct the supergalactic center, you or the galactic center to start with, you might be very ancient, magnetic, or a full-time vampire eating alive the energy of your family or friends. You then have to pay attention to all aspects in your charts. And to measure it at the level, if you're an astrologer, you have to measure it at the level of the soul that you are speaking with. So we're still speaking about the galactic center. Humans decided that this massive area and black hole would be Sagittarius A. So what's the message? What is the Sagittarius in mythology aiming at heavens? However grounded, that's the message. However grounded or trapped human beings are, they must let go of the animal self, only interested in satisfying the flesh. Instead, they must reach out and aim at merging with spirit and with their divine self. And the galactic center is eventually helping you to do that. Let's keep going in imagining Earth's and humans' entanglement with the universe. The Milky Way is a part of the Virgo supercluster. What is then the impact of this supercluster and its core, known in the astrological community as the supergalactic center, on your soul? In the zodiac, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Both Virgo and Mercury are the ultimate bridges towards a reconciled, unified self and towards the solar self. This is why Virgo is said to be connected to Leo, Leo ruled by the sun. Then, as a feminine archetype, Virgo is connected at the galactic level to the Pleiades, the constellation that hold the feminine essence. The Virgo and the sixth house connected to it teach you service, chores, and empathy for healing. It is also linked to cerebral, the mind, cerebral organization. Don't get mental. Additionally, as per her name, the Virgo is no more attracted to animalistic urges, and the soul is ruled by the higher mind. For more on this subject, see in my website the podcast Hermaphrodite. Here we have added a few images so that you can locate and connect the Virgo supercluster, the galaxy, Shapley, etc. According to Philip Sedgwick, the supergalactic center maintains the greatest implication of soul retrieval of any point in the universe. It demands that you get back in there and deal with yourself in an essential manner. It is essential that you do so. It is also unavoidable. It will happen. My comment, one of the steps, is to avoid acting like a hungry black hole and stop eating each other's energies and essence. Additionally, in this lifetime, in your zodiac, the supergalactic center is at 2 Libra. Therefore, the idea is to practice balance and harmony. Remember that in the old tradition, Libra is connected to the origin, the north, the axis of the scale that you duplicate in your spinal column. Therefore, work with both energies, male, female, black, white, and reach the point where you can raise your Kundalini, or at least Kundalinic energy, through the axis. In order to merge male-female essences, or light and matter, humankind in sync with its creator has practiced the feminine absolute through the dark goddesses and mother. The Virgo and Mercury are the way out of the dark night of the soul. The next supergiant involved in soul alignment is Laniakea, or home supercluster of galaxies. Laniakea is mentioned in my last books in the introduction in those terms. Do you know your full address? In 2014, the contours that define the supercluster of galaxies that we call home were established by 4 astrophysicists and scientists. We added one more detail to our cosmic address: humanoid, 5th Avenue, New York, USA, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Virgo Cluster, Laniakea. Laniakea was revealed to the world by a team of scientists. As women are still not the full leaders that they should be, I insist in introducing the French astrophysicist Hélène Courtois, and specialist of large-scale structures who oversaw the observations and discovery of Laniakea. The black hole in the center, or for Laniakea, is the great attractor. The great attractor is a region of space that is the center of attraction for all matter in the universe. It is not a supermassive celestial body, but rather a volume of space that embodies the center of attraction for all matter. The great attractor is located in the vicinity of the Norma supercluster. It is the bottom of the basin where every blob of matter and dust ends up being aggregated. The great attractor will never reach the focal point in the first place due to the expansion of the universe. A quote from scienceabc.com. So what about you? How does it concern humankind? Well, in the present matrix, the great attractor is located at 14 Sagittarius. This area of space is so powerful and fast that we cannot escape it. Soul retrieval, spiritual devotion, and consciousness are humankind's only option. So, when facing a train or a truck at full speed, your body must dissolve, surrender. Service and faith are the only truth. I just love this picture, and I used it to put a link to astrologer Sedgwick's website. Get inspired and use your intuition. Well, the story doesn't end there. Remember, consciousness is infinite. More pull. The last megastar in the field of super astrology is the Shapley supercluster. This giant is not a new addition to the scientific community, as it was discovered in 1930 by astronomer Harold Shapley, hence its name. It appears that supercluster Shapley made it into the field of astrology in 2019 when astrologer Sedgwick noticed a few interesting transits involving it. All the parts of the universe already introduced in our presentation are in fact moving towards the Shapley supercluster. It contains more than 8 southern galaxies, has a mass of more than 10 million billion suns. The Shapley supercluster is the most massive galaxy cluster within 1 billion light years, and we and every galaxy in our corner of the universe are moving towards it. My goodness. For your practice, a summary of astrological locations of the Galactic Center, Great Attractor, Shapley, etc. For fun, this is a comment made by Sedgwick about Bill Gates, whose sun is conjunct with the Shapley attractor. Chances are you use a computer. Chances are you use an operational system designed by Bill Gates, or one designed to be in competition with Bill Gates. Granted, not every person with planets connected to the Shapley attractor rises to such undisputed global magnitude. Still, every person with planets to the Shapley attractor tend to grab unprecedented influence within their sphere of life. Right. Your soul, this is my comment, your soul might have chosen to reach others differently. Do not blame yourself. The dice are loaded. You have your own destiny. So check Scorpio 240 in your chart and remember, one can have considerable influence from behind the scenes or from the inner planes. Evolved souls do not build only with physical matter, but with and from spirit. Only your frequency is important. That said, I didn't look at Bill Gates' chart yet and shall not judge. Let's embrace love instead. And for fun, we will add a question. How did we choose the names of the newly discovered planets, dwarf planets, asteroids? I think it's very interesting. We give mythological name to bodies in the universe. Is it random? How is this planet or this asteroid relating to the persona of Aries or Ceres in astrology? How does it work? Are the people who make the decision inspired? Because after that, we use those planetary bodies in our reading of astrology. Is the universe attracting or sends out the frequencies and data to brains and DNAs of the ones that are open enough? Is this how we co-create? Are you a co-creator? At the conclusion, another spot on my last book, and the name of the website, www.archangel-michael.us.